I'm Matt with HFB, and I'm going to show you how we fry up our chicken wings and how I make my hot sauce. So the frying pot I use is a 14 quart, and I only put 1 gallon oil in it. And as you can see, the 1 gallon of oil is pretty low. By the time we drop those chicken wings in, it's going to bubble up almost to the top of this thing. So if you're doing this, be careful on how much oil you put in it. But I found it takes about 1 gallon of oil in order to cook about 12 to 15 wings at one time. I can't do more than 15 wings, otherwise I got to use more oil in a larger pot. But this works out pretty good for a family of 4. I'll do 15 wings, and I'll do 3/4 of a bag of fries, and then another 15 wings. And then we'll do this. I'll be able to use this oil twice. So out of 1 gallon of oil, I can get about 60 wings and about 2 bags of fries out of it. We got the oil going, and we are gonna run it up to about 410 degrees. And I run it up to 410 degrees because we're gonna put 15 wings in here. So we gotta go a little on the hot side. As soon as I drop those 15 wings in, it's gonna drop down to about 300, 3 1/4 pretty fast. And then I really want to cook these wings right about 375 is what I'm shooting for. And depending on the wings, it's going to take anywhere from 10 to about 11 minutes to fry them. All right, we're at about 415 degrees. There's our 15 wings. I got all the blood and water drained off of them. Throw them on in there. And you're going to see how high these bubbles get. So there's only about 1 inch of oil in there, and that thing bubbles up about 6 inches. So you got to make sure you got a tall enough pan. Once you get them in there and get them going for a couple of seconds, just kind of stir them up. That way they don't stick to the bottom of your pot. All right, right at 11 minutes on this batch. That's what they look like. So pull them out, kind of shake the oil off for a second or two. And we're gonna put them in the glass bowl on top of some paper towels. Ideally, cookie sheet with a wire rack on it would work the best, but when I'm out here by myself, it just kind of works easier doing it with the bowl. All right, here's our fries. About 3/4 of a bag of fries. I found if I do a whole bag, it's just too much, and the oil can't stay up to temp. So crank that heat up. All right, make sure my heat's at high. These fries are going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to cook. See how that temperature just drops? If I put a whole bag in, it'll go all the way down to about 250 degrees just instantly. So I found that 3/4 of a bag works about the best. And then I always do 15 wings, then the fries, and then 15 wings. That way the kids can start eating on the first set of wings while I'm doing everything else. All right, there's our fries. They're all done. This batch took about 4 minutes to fry up. We're gonna go ahead and dump these out, and then we'll put some salt on them as soon as we just put them on that paper plate and towels. Here's what we do for our wing sauce. Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce, 23 ounces. We're gonna use 1 whole stick of butter in there, 1/4 cup of honey, and then red pepper flake. The red pepper flake, just add it for flavor. A little goes a long way. Start off with about a 1/2 tablespoon, and you can go up from there. I usually do about 1/2 tablespoon. We're gonna pour that all in, We're gonna bring it up to boil, and then we're just gonna turn it down for a simmer for about 10 minutes, and then it's ready to go. If it's too hot, you add a little bit more honey to it. If it's too sweet, you add a little bit more red flake or a little bit more wing sauce to it. That's it. 24 ounces Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce. Quarter cup honey. One stick of butter, a whole stick, nice and healthy for you. Half a tablespoon of red pepper flake. Bring it to a boil and let it simmer. You're gonna want to stir it about every minute or so until it melts all that butter. Otherwise it just wants to kind of bubble up on the sides. Okay, as soon as your butter's melted and it starts to boil a little bit like that, that's it. Just turn it down to a very light simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, there's our 30 wings. We'll use about half this sauce, and then we'll keep the other half for next week when we make some more. You get out of that 24 ounces of Frank's, you get enough to do about 60 wings. All right, they're done. Best way to describe these wings really kind of depends on how old you are. If you're about 38 years old and younger, you might not understand. But back in the day, you used to go and get wings at pretty much any bar. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. It used to be like 25 cents a wing. You didn't have 30 options like you do today. You either had hot or extra hot. These wings remind me of the good old days of when you just went somewhere and you bought cheap wings and you got just hot wings. Oh yeah, really good.